how could we, for those who are listening that are parents or that are going to be parents, what are the kind of things that we can do to not pass on these wounds to our kids?
You have to understand a generational curse is what you're talking about. It's not some spooky spiritual thing. It's the way you think, and your kids will instinctively pick that up. I tell all the counsel, about 80% of guys I counsel, I have a severe father wound. I always tell them it's going to take about 2 years, but your kids will be about 2 years behind you in this process. And what I love, Nick, is I love the strength that you have with your father. I see that stability in you and under pressure, and it's beautiful to watch. So it's really important to understand it's primarily about the way you think, and if you're honest with your kids and vulnerable with them, they'll process through. In about 2 years, they'll be behind you. Most of my clients, their kids are all whacked out, and they're really panicky about it. We'll have them sit down and write a letter to their kids from their perspective of what they've been through, and their wife writing a letter perspective as well. Sexual addiction. It's really important. Statistics are undeniable. Addicts will raise addictive kids. And the reason they become addictive is what they saw and heard they didn't see and hear, so they're taught to be crazy. And they'll act out on that. So one of the things that's really important, if you have some addictive behavior in your family, get it resolved out, get healed, and sit down, husband and wife, and write a letter to your kids, and have a counselor or pastor look at it, and process it with your kids, age appropriately.
Right.
But as you do that, it'll bring health into your family.
Yeah. Something that I've been trying, and I'm not doing an awesome job at this by any means, but I've got a son who's 1.5 years, and one of the things I've been trying to do is just listening to other people's stories about their experiences and their wounds has helped me kind of fill mine out a little bit more. And so as I'm parenting, as I'm being a dad, there have been times where my son's crying, and whether it's something stupid or he got hurt or he's not getting his way, I've started to, there've been a couple times now where I'm telling him not like, it's okay, stop crying, but it's okay, you can cry. Like, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to feel the way you feel. And I don't know if he's picking it up yet quite at 1.5 years, but I would rather start practicing that now and trying to make it where I'm not, I think it was Bob Vandermeer who told me he, has neighbors around the area or people that are in his life that tell their kids, just dust it off, get up, don't worry about it, just move on. And I don't want my kid growing up that way. And so, there are probably listeners out there who their kids aren't my kid's age, but there are still things that you can do, and there's still areas that you can very simply speak truth into an identity into your kids.
One of the most significant healing times I had in my life was when Brian got hit in the head with a baseball bat accidentally, splintered and hit him in the head. And I'm holding him in my arms when we were driving to the emergency room, and he's trying not to cry. And I said, Brian, only strong men could cry. That's why David's Psalms are so powerful. I mean, he knows how to cry big time.
Yeah.
And he began to cry like crazy, and I looked down at my hands, and I had my son's blood all over my hands. And I finally understood I'd never been in I could always understand Jesus, but I could never handle Father God, because I always put one of my stepfather's faces on it.
Sure.
I looked down at my hands, and my son's blood on my hands. I finally caught the price Christ paid for us. Price God paid, God the Father paid to have his own son slaughtered on my behalf. I just fell apart and totally transformed my understanding of God's love for me.
Yeah.
That's really cool.